By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I constitute this gathering a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
You may be seated.
Wesha. Ifikile imini mikasicelo madoda. Kuthi beni sizwe nenhlanga sizovuya sivuyisana. Ewe nisongomile laqheqeza labaneka ladlula. Yani mvula yanela nawe. Ewabizi amagama nelakho labizwa. Dennis Khazolo veze nelophilela. Ngoba lento lusathani damile madoda. Umsebenzi uqala ubhityezelwe. Ewuvuthiwe lonke bukade udutyelwa. Hayi makwedina nethuba lukhopho. Nina makwedina namabela bhonqileyo. Apho lonke lelizwe licela khona. Sithi phambili ngemfundo phambili. Nina ninikiwe inkomo yenqoma. Yabuyisela amathokazi. Simama ngazo zozibini madoda. Umsebenzi uqalile ngawugqibezela. Nangamsoma madoda kuthi. Nangamsoma kwedinidini. Amadenga wetyala. Okagabuthi washo umntamla muthithi kumsuthu uJobi. Ephume enyathula. Esithi ndini yoko titshe. Ndini yoko titshe. Adiba. Ndini yoko.
Please stand for the national anthem. Please remain standing. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite Lance Saleh-August, Undergraduate Academics Coordinator of the SRC, to read the university dedication.
At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our benefactors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To those of you who graduate today, we wish courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those who will leave the university to learn and work elsewhere, may you be sustained by those values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond. A love of truth and of learning and of this our university.
You may be seated. We are now delighted to invite opera singers Sipokazi, Maltino George, and Sipekwani to perform at today's ceremony.
Klar, ist wahr, du hast mich lieb.
Meinen Hals steht, tanzt auch die Seele mit. Da hilft das Herrchen klein, es klopft und kocht, sei leise Nein. Und der Mund spricht ein Wort, doch tut es Mund und immer fort. Ich hab dich ja so lieb, ich hab dich
Trost der Herde deutlich mir beschrieb. Ist klar, sie's wahr, du hast mich lieb.
You were probably sitting there thinking, wow, UCT goes all out to go and get these professional musicians to perform at graduation ceremonies. But if you were thinking that, you would only be partially right, because yes, we do go all out, but these are our students. The procession was led by Sky Dladla and Black Roots Marimbas, an ensemble from Gugulethu made up of South African College of Music students. Black Roots has just returned from a 4-week tour of Maputo, performing and doing marimba workshops with Mozambican artists and children. The poem of praise, Rimbongo, was performed in honor of the graduates, their families, and teachers by artist, teacher, and UCT Music and Honors in Education graduate Neliswa Sampi, whose stage name is Sange. Neliswa graduated in April this year, and her son is also studying at the South African College of Music. The national anthem was accompanied on the organ by Alexius Vacatus. Alexius is currently studying a PhD degree in the field of X-ray crystallography in chemistry, and his publication was recently selected in a journal for the editor's collection focusing on polymorphism in molecular crystals. Alexis, in his spare time, also helped to restore the City Hall Carillon, which he often plays before symphony concerts and on commemoration days. Our opera singers, Sipokasi and Sipe, who sang Meine Lippen sie küssen so heiß by Franz Liar, are both multiple award-winning performers. And they are, of course, with the South African College of Music. But if you wish to hear them sing in an opera, then book for the UCT Opera School's production of Così fan tutte by Mozart in the Baxter Theatre next year. Postgraduate student Gyu-min Kim has performed as a solo pianist with symphony orchestras around the country. He will graduate today, but he currently performs in the hit musical Kinky Boots at the Fugate Theatre. Let's give them another round of applause. So good morning again and welcome. In the interest of time, I'm going to say all protocol observed, but I do want to mention and give a special welcome to the individuals that brought us here today, the graduates. Today is a big day. You have worked hard to get here. It is your day, and we are honored to celebrate it with you. This is our 4th graduation ceremony. Yesterday, we bid goodbye to our outgoing Chancellor, Graça Machel, who presided over yesterday's ceremonies. And I say goodbye and not farewell because I know that after having invested 20 years of her time, passion, and dedication to UCT, she will continue to be our friend. In today's ceremony, we will award an honorary degree to Professor Jonathan Jansen, who will also be our speaker today. And at this morning's ceremony, we are also honoring the winners of our annual Book Award and of our Creative Works Awards. It will be an exciting ceremony, and I invite you to sit back and to celebrate with us. The UCT Book Award is given for the book authored by a member of the university that is judged to be of scholarly or literary merit and the best of the year. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the UCT Book Award for 2019, Anna Titsi, Senior Lecturer in the Michaelis School of Fine Art. Anna's book, A History of the Iziko South African National Gallery, Reflections on Art and National Identity from UCT Press 2017, is the first full history of the Iziko South African National Gallery. It traces the gallery's fortunes from its inception in the 1870s to the present day and considers the formative influence on the gallery on successive directors and trustees, as well as governments, showing how these have shaped its collection and exhibition policies. A core aim of the book is to consider how national galleries understand their purpose, What is it to be national? And what is it to be an art gallery? The question of the national is considered throughout the text, where it is shown that historically and across the world, national galleries have often, paradoxically, given their title, collected art from outside their borders. In the book, South Africa's gallery is situated within this historical context. Against the backdrop of the current decolonial debate, the question of whether a national gallery serves primarily to represent the nation's art or showcase an international art world becomes a pressing one. The consideration of what it is to be an art gallery gives rise to a discussion of the debates concerning art's boundaries, be they with so-called popular art, with craft objects, with objects of design. This study examines how the gallery has grappled with these issues over its history, and particularly in recent years, as it has sought to expand its constituency. The conclusion of the book proposes a bold foundational analysis of the role of the National Gallery in a rapidly evolving nation such as South Africa. And cognizant of the recent establishment of the Zeitz Museum of Contemporary Art in Africa, it considers how the two institutions might best complement each other into the future. This book is described by reviewers as a quality study that ought to be read by anyone with more than a passing interest in galleries and museums, and a study of impeccable archival research and handling of contentious issues. This publication aims to uncover the often unspoken policies and politics of a public art institution. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite you to grant the Book Award for 2019 to Anna Titsi. The UCT Creative Works Award recognizes the production of important creative work by a member of the university. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the 2019 UCT Creative Works Award, Andrew Lilly, Associate Professor in the South African College of Music. Andrew's composition, Brother Gone, comprises original compositional works recorded for jazz septet. The project came about through various collaborations with the Arts Foundation in Sweden. Swedish jazz musicians have strong roots in the African-American jazz tradition, and this resonates with the South African context, where the style of jazz music is also heavily influenced by this tradition. Key innovators like John Coltrane and Thelonious Monk became powerful influences in modeling some of our greatest players like Abdullah Ibrahim, Winston Mankunku, and Becky Mtseleku. The title track of the album speaks directly to this lineage, making reference to the collective in jazz and to those who have passed, their legacies carried forward to produce something new. Titles like Epilogue and Dedication speak for themselves, and Home Roots particularly taps into that aspect of the heritage which finds its origins in the rhythms of Africa. Song for Becky is written for South African pianist Becky Mtseleku, whose contribution to South African jazz music is extensive. The compositions of the album have attracted international status, with Songs for Becky being awarded finalist for the original song in the 21st Annual USA Songwriting Competition in 2016. Recording a project of this nature requires much time and significant funds. The final release is a product of a multi-stage process in which the actual recording is only one part of the final artistic product. The music is typically written and composed over a period of time and performed as part of the creative and explorative improvisatory expression in jazz. The manifestation of the recording sets in stone a particular version of the material, bearing in mind that there has been an extensive collective of improvisation within its structure, as this is the primary nature of the music. The compositions themselves stand outside the actual recorded project and continue a life of their own. It is in the performance of the music that the real art takes place. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite you to grant the 2019 UCT Creative Works Award to Andrew Lilly. Vice-Chancellor, I now have the honor to present to you for the 2019 UCT Creative Works Award, Dizu Plaatjes, Associate Professor in the South African College of Music. Dizu Plaatjes has an international reputation as performer, teacher, and intrepid researcher of his African heritage. He regularly performs and gives master classes worldwide in Europe, the Middle East, the Americas, and Australia, and has an extensive track record as a creative artist, which includes the publication of over 40 albums, both solo and collaborative. The multiple award-winning album, Ubuntu, The Common String, is a CD publication in which Dizu, as arranger, songwriter, and solo performer on a wide range of traditional African instruments, discreetly blends his artistry with that of younger friends who contribute to the album with a unique blend of vocals, guitar, percussion, and horns. The result is 11 tracks of performances embracing a mixture of styles and inspirations from traditional pop, rock, reggae, and jazz, yet carrying the unmistakable stamp of Dizu Plaatjes' Mpondo roots. Described in the media as a seminal work, it has been variously praised for its embracing yet cohesive sweep of musical genres and the reflective social conscience of its songs. Within a month of its publication in November 2015, it reached and remained in the top 10 of the Trans Global World Music Chart for 3 months, and was subsequently included in the list of the best of 2015. Ubuntu, The Common String, marked a new departure in Dizu's output, who in the preceding decade had focused his efforts on preserving the vanishing music of the older generation of Xhosa musical bow players and vocalists. Recognizing the need for generational dialogue, Ubuntu The Common String is a conscious attempt to close the gap between the traditional and the contemporary. This attempt to place the music of his roots in the context of Pan-African, popular, and world music inspirations is what makes the album distinctive. That Dizu Plaatjes was successful in this pragmatic goal is borne out by the fact that a peer-reviewed South African body, the South African Music Awards, voted the CD as Best African Adult Album, at the same time as the prestigious British Songlines magazine selected Ubuntu as Top of the World Album. That these two bodies, with very different industry criteria, were concurrently attracted to the same album speaks volumes. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite you to grant the 2019 UCT Creative Works Award to Dizu Plaatjes. Vice-Chancellor, I now have the honor to present to you for the award of the degree of Doctor of Education honoris causa, Jonathan David Jansen.
Vice-Chancellor, it is an honor and a pleasure to introduce to you Professor Jonathan Jansen. Professor Jansen is a son of the Western Cape. He was born in 1956 in Montagu, between the Robertson Wine District and the semi-desert area of the Little Karoo. He grew up there and in the Cape Flats, and his youth, like that of his contemporaries, was shaped by the upheavals and the loss caused by forced removals under the Group Areas Act. His parents, a strong Christianity, marked his upbringing in interesting and contradictory ways, as he is the least missionary of Christians and yet a profoundly spiritual man. Jonathan Jansen attended Sullivan Primary School. Later on, encouragement by Paul Halland, Jansen's high school Latin teacher and, believe it or not, also his middle distance running coach, changed his life. The high expectations Halland set for his students made the young teenager believe he could achieve things despite the circumstances of the Cape Flats. And Paul Halland would no doubt be rightly appreciative of his pupils' achievements when Jonathan graduated from Steenberg High School. He then went on to obtain a Bachelor of Science from the University of the Western Cape, where he was also duly initiated into politics. He completed his teaching qualification through UNISA. For a person who has admitted over and over again not to being an A student, he went on to obtain his master's from Cornell University and his doctorate from Stanford University. He is an honorary professor of education at the University of the Witwatersrand and has received honorary doctorates from the University of Edinburgh, Cleveland State University, and Vermont University. He has received a number of awards for his contribution to the field of education. In 2013, he received the Education Africa Lifetime Achiever Award and the Spell Lab Award from the University of California for his contributions to tolerance, democracy, and human rights. In 2014, the British Academy for the Social Sciences and Humanities awarded him the Nayef Al-Rodan Prize for his book, Knowledge in the Blood, and in 2015, his alma mater, the University of Stanford, chose him to receive the Alumni Excellence in Education Award. He has occupied leadership positions at the University of Durban-Westville, Pretoria, and the Free State. He has been called to act as administrator at several universities in crisis, all of which has given him much of a first-hand knowledge of the joys and pitfalls of higher education. I had the privilege of working with Jonathan at the University of the Free State for 6 years, and I can say without fear of contradiction that there were never a dull moment at the executive meetings. We were always pushed intellectually, morally, and operationally to do our jobs better and more deeply. We argue amongst ourselves as part of a practice of leadership, and we're capable of recognizing our faults and mistakes together. As a higher education leader, he has, as do all vice-chancellors, wear battle scars, which I am sure he considers as moments of learning and reflection. Professor Jansen is currently in a more sedate position at the University of Stellenbosch, where he's senior research professor in the Faculty of Education. However, the jury is still out on how sedate Professor Jansen's appointment has been for the University of Stellenbosch. Not long after his appointment, controversy erupted with the publication by a Stellenbosch professor of an academic paper arguing that colored women in South Africa have an increased risk for low cognitive functioning as they present with low education levels and unhealthy lifestyle behaviors. For someone who has made a life work of the study of the insidiousness of race, this offered irresistible provocation. Jansen did not just engage with the professor, her students, and the claims made in the article. He decided that the way of dealing with this was to research 100 years of master's and doctoral theses awarded by the university, tracing representations of colored people. This was the topic of a riveting and devastating inaugural lecture that I have no doubt some people would have preferred Professor Jansen not to deliver. Not happy with this, and as the teacher that he is, Professor Jansen saw the sports science affair as a teachable moment, and without hesitation mobilized like-minded colleagues at the university to put together a primer on race and gender that will be used to teach undergraduate students across faculties about race, science, and society, and which will be out next year. This vignette illustrates what seems to me as Jansen's understanding of the professing of the professor, a constant critical engagement with one's subject knowledge and with the institutional and personal behavior underpinned by that knowledge. Knowledge in the Blood, the book that he wrote while at the University of Pretoria, is an excellent example of that approach, looking for and exposing the fault lines, looking for complicities and silences that need to be brought to the surface. Jansen has spent most of his life, and his academic life in particular, against the grain of being classified as color, against the grain of the political correctness of outcome-based education, against the exclusionary logic of Afrikaner nationalism at the Free State, against the grain of the self-congratulatory mediocrity of our schooling system, against the demagogic tendencies of political leaders, both young and old. In the process, he has scandalized and alienated quite a few people. Not everybody agrees with all of Professor Jansen's arguments and actions. Some accuse him of being irresponsible in voicing his pessimism and ideas about higher education in his book As by Fire. Some found incomprehensible and objectionable his gesture of reconciliation towards the race fall. Yet, he was instrumental in changing the UFA's language policy, integrating residencies, and confronting academic and past departments with their own racist practices. It does not matter. Controversy is part of Professor Jansen's job description. He is, without a doubt, one of South Africa's most recognized public intellectuals. He has been able to move with equal ease between academic writing, storytelling, journalism, mass communication, and social media, not to mention that he is an accomplished piano player. In his 1993 Reith Lectures on the representations of the intellectual, Edward Said reflected, and I quote, "The intellectual is an individual with a specific public role in society. The intellectual is an individual endowed with a faculty for representing, embodying, articulating a message, a view, an attitude, philosophy or opinion to as well as for the public. And this role has an edge to it and cannot be played without a sense of being someone whose role it is to publicly raise embarrassing questions, to confront orthodoxy and dogma, to be someone who cannot be easily co-opted by governments or corporations, and whose raison d'etre is to represent all of those people and issues that are routinely forgotten or swept under the rug." Vice Chancellor, Professor Jansen has done exactly this throughout his academic and leadership career, and for this, it is very fitting that this university honors him today with this doctorate. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the award of the degree of Doctor of Education honoris causa, Jonathan David Jansen.
Chancellor, I now invite Professor Jansen to address us today as the graduation speaker.
Madam Vice-Chancellor, my colleagues, the members of Senate, students, friends, and families of the graduates, good morning. I grew up down the road in a place with the unfortunate name of Retreat. I nevertheless advanced through school, and the only student from Steenberg High at the time to obtain what was then called a first-class pass. Being the closest university to home, I came here as an 18-year-old to inquire about studies at UCT. The two ladies in admin looked at my matric certificate and laughed quietly among themselves. I went home with a heavy heart. And today, 4 decades later, you invite me to the same place for an honorary doctorate. I'm honored, I'm grateful, and I thank you all. Now, I do not need to tell the students, and by the way, let me just say this, you all look stunning. It is one of those transformations I never understood, that the one moment you're out there with the dirty jeans and the same t-shirt, and the next moment you transform into these wonderful, wonderful graduates. But I don't need to tell you that you're about to graduate from the leading university on our continent and one of the best universities in the world after the University of Free State. Now, UCT did not achieve this enviable status and esteem easily or overnight, whether in its formidable research reputation or the quality of its academic education. In terms of its social transformation, it is well known that our university often acted unjustly during the apartheid years, and yes, it still struggles with its colonial legacy in the post-apartheid years. Small steps, perhaps, but today the Senate chambers is called the Archie Mafeja Room. This graduation hall, thankfully, is named after Sarah Baartman, and Cecil John Rhodes is nowhere to be seen. And for this, the campus and the country owes the activist community of UCT a debt of gratitude. And yet, throughout all of these struggles and successes, UCT remained a university, which of course raises the important question, what is this thing we call a university? You see, a university in essence is a place where reason triumphs over age. It is a place where our common humanity matters more than our racial nicknames. It is the only place where anybody and everybody can speak without the fear of being shut up. This is what makes a university different from a church or a political party or the Boy Scouts. Your membership does not depend on shared beliefs. There is no party whip to keep you in line. There is no secret oath that binds members to a common cause. I would be remiss on this grand occasion if I did not warn you that in South Africa today, that ideal of the university is under threat. When you burn down things at a university because you're angry, you undermine what a university is for. When you hide and conceal artworks you do not like, you threaten the idea of a university. When you tell white students and white colleagues that they cannot speak in the learning commons, You make a mockery of what a university stands for. When you question an academic appointment because the colleague is not a real South African, whatever that means, you are hastening the demise of the university. When you refuse to meet and engage with your academic colleagues because they hold different views from you, or might even be critical of your work, then you diminish the idea of a university. Now, make no mistake, when you stand up for the idea of a university as a democratic space in which ideas matter and not the force of numbers or the membership of a race or the allure of money or the blessing of government, make no mistake, you will be ostracized and you will be marginalized. You see, the idea of a university was never simply to hand students a degree after 3 to 5 years, or for academics to notch up research outputs as if this were a canning factory. No, the idea of a university was also to produce leaders who stand for something and who are prepared to stand alone. The University of Cape Town, with its stellar reputation, can only soar when it could be said of every graduate that through your leadership and public duty, you remain, in the words of Cornel West, quote, unbought, unbound, unafraid, and unintimidated to tell the truth. Thank you.
When a university awards an honorary degree, you may not know this, but the recipient may say, thank you, or the recipient may say, thank you, but no thank you. Professor Jansen, thank you for saying thank you. And thank you for sharing your thoughts with us this morning and for challenging us to think again critically about this institution that we are at broadly as a university, but also in particular UCT. Thank you very much.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degrees specified and grant the diplomas and certificates specified to the candidates as recorded in absentia. I shall now grant the diplomas and certificates and admit to the degrees specified the candidates to be presented to me.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the Diploma in Dance Education, Robin Ashley Pokpas. For the Postgraduate Certificate in Education in Intermediate Phase Teaching, Yamkela Mbombo. In Foundation Phase Teaching, Robin Tony Abrahams. With distinction, Abigail Ann Chetwin. Salia Domingo. With distinction, Monet Kiara Duplessis. Nosipiwo Dwatiana. Chenny Furman. I think I should. Alex Lindsay Fortune. Nicole Gami. With distinction, Rebecca Jane Gore. With distinction, Megan Tony Hawken. Olivia Amanda Johnson. With distinction, Abigail Talia Mallows. Chantal Ann Manton. Leanne Jane Mentor. Liasia Jadri Noble. Truline Genevieve Oliphant. Francis Searle. With distinction, Jessie Marie Solomons. Athwa Sadiq Stemet. Stacy Jade Titus. Tuleka Tose. With distinction, Nicole Dominique Bruce Winter. In senior phase and FET teaching, Amy Joy Abrahams. Bronwyn Leisha Adams. Faith Mercia Adonis. Amy Agolas. Nabila Ajam. Michaela Angelica Alexander. Hannah Alderman. With distinction, Divin Apalwaju. Ilam Arifdin. Darren James Authors. Ashley Page Bayman. Colin John Buhill. Lauren Bruce. Chiatung Joy Chen. Christina Christofidi. Shantae Lenora Klassen. Rosanna Robin Sabrina Coxon. Logan Annie Cruiser. Andrew Douglas Ian Dare. Michelle Nicole Day. With distinction, Liam Lawrence Thomas de Mullermeister. Michaela Dennis. Neziswa Dlayedwa. Casey James Dodemese. Emma Alexandra Dutoit. Christopher Rudolph Engel. Megan Francis Farr. Jody Hannah Felix. Bernelie Beatrice Dorian Fortain. Saida Fredericks. Monli Geduld. Kirsten Lee George. Gabrielle Jin. Leah Mary Hall. Abdul Kalam Hamdullah. Franklin Oliver Hanslow. With distinction, Jemima Grace Hart. Carla Louise Hokey. Cameron Cornell Hofmeister. Nazreen Hussein. Jordan Emma Yuste. Siseko Jacqueline Chukuda. Devon Ian Keys. Masikole Kewana. Siabonga Thomas Kruger. Tohira Lukes. Reagan Lubinski. Roseanne Maakana. Emily Michelle Alice Maeda. Tabo Malachi. Bulumko Mapuza. Athena Hazel Martin. Mawande Mayekiso. Siyabonga Mbobo. Lauren Joy MacDonald. With distinction, Catherine Rebecca Maynard. Tia Messias. With distinction, Belle Miller. Amanda Mkechle. Asandiswa Msutu. Amy Teresa Ann Murray. Rhiannon Catherine Murray. Kumisa Ngubo. Wesley Norman. Simone Nadine Olson. Sarah Georgina Osborne. Sitreko Pakade. Zintle Matakazi Pandle. Shamiz Phillips. Aidan Hensel Poole. Olda Matapa Ramapoko. With distinction, Shriya Ramji. Talia Ramkilawan. With distinction, Kendall Jade Rowley. Andisa Mvulazana Siswana. Nomtandazo Sicheke. Zolani Sopete. Carla Natasha Stokes. Nuha Thebus. Patricia Suzanne Tace. Keyofe Tilly. With distinction, Joshua James Turnbull. Jana van Rienen. Ricardo Vassapoli. Kiari Fillet. Ruoyu Wang. Melissa Leticia Wenzel Brake. Ntutuzelo Kalabile. Mfundo Kwali Zono. In FET teaching, Caitlin Basson. Erin May Erasmus. Kelly Groenmeijer. Caitlin Hawarden. Liam Christopher Josephs. Stembiso Mbekiseni Mgenge. Sinaye Mpokela. Kuchle Hiti. Caitlin Schroeder. Sarah Wallace. Rebolenkosi Sipesihle Zuma. For the postgraduate diploma in African Studies, Mutlalepula Kathy Pukubje. For the postgraduate diploma in Higher Education Studies with distinction, Jamie Marie Korbishley. Keenan Peter John Hendrickse. For the postgraduate diploma in music and performance, Lance Tainsma. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Jamie Robert Chihan Bowes. Jamie Nicholas Conrad. Kakamba Bomkazi Precious Filtane. Andrea Jocelyn George. With distinction in film and television studies, Joshua Sean Ilbery. Cindy Jarvis. Samuel Edward Kelly. Jenna Marinus. Caitlin Bianca Mathy. Kanyisile Kutso Modiba. Stephanie Ann Rutherford. Nadia van der Skeef. Schweib van der Skeef. For the degree of Bachelor of Music, Benjamin John Racionza. In dance with distinction in African dance practice, Avuyile Sidloi. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Science, Sureya Ismail Afaji. Emilia Aguras. Jody Dylan Arense. Manish Sharma Bidasi. With distinction in Gender Studies and Sociology and the degree with distinction, Jessica Joy Capsted Dale. Miguel Valentino Espina. Bridine Amber Esthazen. Leila Hildebrandt. Elif Isabella Ilan. Kelly Karen Josiah. Dylan Jürgen Joubert. Bibit Kanengoni. Tatenda Michelle Kuhotsi. Nadzeya Kukauka. Wesley Jason Lesh. Lungelo Tukelo Nomusa Mahlangu. Rose Lukuni Majivuno. Lindiwe Malumbazo. Sriya Mansingh. Tandokazi Matiase. Gideon Jebram Duma. Ezra Perelo Mohope. Standazile Moyo. Tamika Mteha. Akona Junior Mzwempi. Tinashe Ashley Nduku. Busisiwe Ngwenya. Minentle Nkosi. Atabile Nonkuba. Tonderai Nyasha Itai Nyakauru. Lindokukle Neville Patiwe. Tengiwe Zizipo Kwesha. Megan Chelsea Ryan. Tevia Churok Shapiro. With distinction in English language and literature, Kanya Danielle Shizumo. Nonzaliseko Twetwa. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Work, Hannah Flori Lubner. Hazel Mutandiko. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors in Curatorship, Annalisa Manu. In Film and Television Studies with First Class, Alexandra Serena Gillespie Hodge. With first class, Tisetso Lintle Mohapi. In organizational psychology, Koketso Mampane. In politics, Kanyisile Nonkululeko Ngadi. For the degree of Bachelor of Education Honors, Shannon Pamela Bass. Christopher Donald Duplessis. Ronaldo Jean-Louis. Loiso Mashawa. For the degree of Bachelor of Music Honors, in Performance, Ju Min Kim. For the degree of Bachelor of Social Science Honors in Gender and Transformation, Pumza Kwelilomso Kwakwa. In International Relations, Yenziwe Tlabatsi. Pumla Tembe. In Political Communication, with first class, Ruby Ruvimbo Chikwiri. In Politics, Lamtla Magwaka. Masikole Mlandu. In Religious Studies, Nazneen Sheikh. In Social Development, Sibahle Vuyolwetu Melane. Shafi Intalika Zubair. In Social Policy and Management, Lita Letu Pika. For the degree of Master of Arts in Afrikaans with distinction, Heloise Fourie. Emma Kotze. Johannes Theodorus Vermaak. In clinical psychology with distinction, Joni Marie Mitchell. Malini Mohana. Candice Siobhan Nicolo. In creative writing with distinction, Lucienne Palas Bestal. Della Buchle Guala. With distinction, Kirsten Hall. Benedict Sebastian Jordan. With distinction in the dissertation, Ruby Parker. In documentary arts, Sophie Elizabeth Patch. With distinction in the dissertation, Kimberly Jade Ray. In French, with distinction in the dissertation, Helen Drews. In language, literature, and modernity, with distinction, Ethrizia Kotsir. With distinction, Alice Ishbel Sholto Douglas. With distinction, Luke James Watson. In linguistics, Tandiwe Ida Goko. Nasira Mohammed. In Media Studies, Amanda Karen Speechley. In Media Theory and Practice, Garrett Farmer Brent. Octavia Nolizwi Mgwagwa. With distinction, Chisanga Mukuka. In philosophy, with distinction in the dissertation, Mats Wenzel Elliott. With distinction, Travis Wade Rebello. In psychological research with distinction, Lauren Ann Joseph. With distinction, Marilyn Tony Lake. With distinction, Ruth Urson. In religious studies, Beatrice Akuvi Hosen Komodzia. In sociology, Adrian Sean Badminton. In theater and performance, Linda Mahabutlane. Lulama Vuyani Masimini. For the degree of Master of Arts in Fine Art, Mawande Kazenzile. For the degree of Master of Arts in Neuropsychology with distinction, Kirsty Carter. With distinction, Kunrad Jacobus Yahating. For the degree of Master of Education in Adult Education, Janice Deirdre Erasmus. With distinction, Margareta Jacoba Erasmus. In Applied Language and Literacy Studies, Bernice Zelda Adonis. With distinction in the dissertation, Babalwayashe Molate. In Education Policy, Leadership and Change, with distinction, Ashley Craig Visahi. In Higher Education Studies, with distinction, Laura Tracy Caracelos. With distinction in the dissertation, Nozuko Princess Mbuto. In primary education, Simone Ludolf. Helene Louise Rousseau. For the degree of Master of Library and Information Studies, Lina Kamenye. Belinda Muzimbwa Mbanga. Mpo Netiongolwe. Stella Emade Nge. With distinction in the dissertation, Christelle Oosthuizen. Anthea Paulsen. For the degree of Master of Music in Music, Dissertation and Coursework, Rashid Epstein Adams. With distinction, Angela Helena Britz. In music, dissertation and performance, Ernie Nati Kuela. Karika Smith. For the degree of Master of Philosophy in African Studies, Minga Mbwek Congo. With distinction, Yoni Undine Paklepa. Amira Laila Rasul. In development studies, Kristen Bartlett. Tafadzwa Zingwe. Shuvai Tendai Finos. Carol Rebecca Masingi. Wendy Peterson. In digital curation with distinction, Frances Ellen Gillis Weber. Astrida Samupwa. In Justice and Transformation, Tessa Assis. With distinction, Robin Bota. Pinahole Brook. Nora Loken. Gerald Arthur Moore. Priscilla Tindwa. With distinction, Katie Sophia Tripp. Fian Brandt Verwoerd. In public policy and administration with distinction, Siko Akona Lutango. For the degree of Master of Social Science and Anthropology with distinction in the dissertation, Anna Stephanie Drinker. With distinction in the dissertation, Sonwabiso Ngowa. Robin Danielle Swanak. In clinical social work, Alicia van Vuren. Tasneem Variawa. Rachel Geraldine Williams. In international relations, Emmanuel Ampoma. With distinction in the dissertation, Victoria Megan Manona Senza. With distinction, Saskia Blair. Philip Durner. Hector Leandro Manini. With distinction, Anjola Oluwa Ogunrombi. In politics, Heidi Emberland Ulla. In probation and correctional practice, Ashley Nicole Ross. In psychology with distinction, Tony Carmen Faith Ross. I'm not going to. In social development, Sarah Okedi Birungi. Jessica Elizabeth Blom. Joshua Convenant Chigome. Chanel Catherine Fredericks. Catherine Georgina Storr Lister. With distinction, Esther Claire Sampson. Bertha Miyanda Simunyandi. Benson Tatenda Siyawareva. Lindsay Godfrey Thomas. Lovemore Vouche. In social policy and management, Muruesi Malebo. With distinction, Jetara Ross. In sociology, Danielle Star Omondi Okeyo. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Drama, for a thesis which elucidates the use of bricolage as a strategy to devise theatrical productions that rely on the intercultural exchange of images between participants. Sanjin Muftik. In drama, for a thesis which explores the alienation and invisibility of key players in acts of migration and demonstrates how observational filmmaking and immersive video installations create empathy through corporeal embodiment. Meghna Singh. In education, for a thesis showing that discipline-specific learning and assessment activities drive students' acquisition of their digital literacy practices developed through individual trial and error, self-teaching and scaffolding from peers or senior students, rather than through overt instruction from lecturers. Tabisa Maisela. In environmental and geographical studies, for a thesis which analyzes the successes and challenges that cities across sub-Saharan Africa have faced in raising finance for urban infrastructure, particularly through the use of municipal bonds. Jeremy David Gorolik. In fine art, for a thesis which uses text and images to reveal the extent of absences, the anarchive, that are inevitably part of all archives, and that argues for new ways of thinking about archives and the histories they might deliver. Karine Zeiman. In media studies, for a thesis which demonstrates how the internet's democratizing potential is limited in the context of political news sourcing by internal and external factors that determine editorial agendas which promote bias and select partisan elites as political sources. Delta Lao Milau Ndu. In media studies, for a thesis which explores rural and urban teenagers' practices with digital technologies in Nigeria and reveals issues of access, outcomes, strict mediations, unchecked risks, poor digital literacy, and identity negotiation in the digital age from an African perspective. Chikezie Emmanuel Uzweg Bunam. In music, for a thesis investigating Louis Spohr's violin fingering principles, taking his violin Schule as a point of departure and showing their application in some of his violin concertos. Anine Shaw. In political studies, for a thesis which draws on psychology to explore how the South African state experiences its international relations and how these experiences factor into the state's foreign policy. Bianca Nodir. In psychology, for a thesis showing interesting similarities and differences regarding depression and mammalian separation distress between the findings of previously published research on animal behavior in response to brain chemical manipulation and on human volunteers subjected to similar brain chemical manipulation. Eleni Pantelis. In psychology, for a thesis which analyzes conversations between pedophiles on a pair of secret darknet websites and proposes a typology of pedophiles that may help in their identification and treatment and in prevention of sexual and physical abuse of children. Andrew Ferrate. In religious studies, for a thesis using a social rhetorical analysis of the relationship between John the Baptist and Jesus the Messiah in their birth narratives in the Gospel of Luke, and finding that Luke progressively develops an ideological texture legitimating Jesus as dominant. David Christopher Smith. In religious studies, for a thesis which uses a socio-rhetorical analysis to examine the concept of time in the book of Revelation, to explore the interconnection between chronological and cyclical aspects of time in early Christian experience. Birgit Taylor. In social development, for a thesis showing that despite high utilization of and adherence to prevention of mother-to-child transmission services in Rivers State, Nigeria, persisting barriers to optimal rollout include poor service delivery and inadequate human resources for healthcare. Fadila Jumare. In sociology, for a thesis showing that same-sex marriage does not radically change the institution of marriage, but does provide a challenge to systems of dominance and also has a transformational impact on the interpersonal relationships of same-sex couples. Luando Scott.
What a way to end the ceremony. That was a beautiful outfit, wasn't it? Me also, I want. Well, congratulations. This was wonderful. Sitting on my right is the chair of the Council Finance Committee, our Finance Committee of Council. And she doesn't come to many graduation ceremonies, but she was here yesterday. And she's like, wow, why is it such a happy moment today? So I said, it's the Faculty of Humanities. I have no other answer. That was my answer, it's the Faculty of Humanities. Well, but then I said, you know, when we get a Faculty of Health Sciences, the doctors, that's the medical skill, they give you a run for your money. Yes, but it was fantastic. I mean, we could call you again for another ceremony. I don't mind. But congratulations on your wonderful achievement. I'm trying to get my phone to stand here. There you go. You have reached a mountaintop today. You persisted to get here, and we are so pleased to be part of your journey. But of course, you did not get here alone. There were people who walked the journey with you. Parents, family, friends, and loved ones who supported you through it all. Now I want to request you to please stand. Try to find where they are, make eye contact if you can. If you don't know where they are, just look to your right, because they are most probably somewhere on your right. And then wave your scroll towards them, just as a sign of appreciation for the support that they granted you through the journey. Beautiful. Keep standing, You know, this is the first time I do this, and it's for family, and people are reluctant to stand up. Normally, when I say appreciation to the family, everybody stands up without a doubt. This is the first group. By the way, in my entire life as an academic, I have never seen anything like that. So please show some love to the family. Stand up. And don't sit down until I say so. Fantastic. Beautiful. Don't sit down yet, don't sit down. Now I'm beginning to wonder, maybe is that class just like sitting down? Keep standing. You've got to show appreciation. Some of these people sitting here are broke today because you are graduating. They have loans to pay because they paid your fees, right? They gave you a stipend. When you were broke, even when you needed new sneakers, they came through for you. You've got to show some love, man. Keep standing. Now, as much love as they've shown you, you wouldn't be here if the people on stage were not there. These are the people who prepared the lectures, who read your chapters, the bad ones, the good ones, the lousy ones. Even when you were rude in class, they came back tomorrow, and the following day, they still did their best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please show some love to the academics on stage. Fantastic. You know, in this part, I'm used to this idea of people, some group of people who just don't respond that way for the academics on stage. They still hold grudges. Let me free you. It's important. It's important that you are liberated, you know. I mean, you have a degree now. Let bygones be bygones. Oksalayo, you are graduating today. Let bygones be bygones, all right? The fact that you were expecting a 65 and they give you a 56, just make peace with it. It happened, okay? It happened. From here on, you need friends. You need friends who are going to write reference letters for you, for graduate studies, or for jobs, or for some kind of favor. So, make peace with what happened. It happened. You are getting your degree now. Show some real love to the academics on stage. Like, do it, come on. All right, okay. Thank you very much. Now, keep standing. Now, there are some people who are not in this hall, but these are our professional admin and support staff. These are staff members who house, feed our students in residences. They maintain our university campuses and run administrative processes so that all of us can get on with our academic work, whose outputs we are celebrating today. There are also staff members, by the way. When this ceremony ends, we will go out, they will clean the room. They will make it look like no one was in it before, because we'll be back here later. We've got 2 more ceremonies today. So there'll be people who will be running here, you know, cleaning. So please pick up your tissues when you go. Just make it easier for them, right? But I want us, all of us, to stand and honor those people because they ensure this occasion happens. They ensure actually that we get here. We get time to do the other things and get here. And then they also ensure that this specific ceremony happens smoothly. So please stand up, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, for our professional and support staff members, our workers, our cleaners. Fantastic. Thank you very much. You may be seated. This day, graduates, signifies a new beginning for each and every one of you. In addition to earning the diplomas and degrees conferred upon you today, you have also earned the right to be associated with a very special group of people, the Convocation of the University of Cape Town. Convocation acts as an official channel that allows members, and members are alumni and academic staff, it allows them to convey to the university management their views about the university. Convocation leads the election of the Chancellor of the university. It has representation on council. And so it has a voice also in the appointment of the university executive. The Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, the Executive Directors, the Deans. Convocation has got a voice through council. So I want to invite you to join our online platform for the membership that you've just been admitted to, or if you haven't been, you didn't know, then you are. If you go online, you just type on Google UCT Alumni Connect, hook up with us there and be informed about what's happening at your alma mater and get up-to-date up-to-date information on events that are taking place in your city, wherever you are in the world, or anywhere in the city in South Africa. There's an Alumni Connect there where you are. UCT Alumni Connect will also help you connect with other UCT graduates around the world. Not the ones that you went to class with, not the ones who are here. There's a big network of over 170,000 people all over the world who this UCT Alumni Connect will connect you with. And then you can grow your professional network because that's how it works, right? So you are a member now, you're legal, get in there, make sure we've got your details so that we can keep in touch with you. Before you go, 3 brief advices from me as you leave the hall. Number 1, your graduation is an achievement that not everyone gets. Not everyone receives a degree. So I want you to take a deep breath, look around, and remember this feeling, like hold it. Just in case you didn't know, this is your moment of power. Things get tough in life, you know? And when things get tough, you feel like giving up, you feel like it's the end of the journey, the world tells you you're not as good as you thought you were, what you do, you go to your moments of power. You recall them. You remind yourself who you are. Because let me tell you, the world is going to do that to you one day, and you call up your moments of power. But also remember that this achievement comes with a responsibility, because with great achievement comes great responsibility and great expectations. The responsibility and expectation that you will play your part. You will do what you can to help not only those who helped you get to where you are at today, but to help shape the future of our country and our world. Number 2, you are now a graduate of a great university called UCT. Yes, I said great. I didn't say perfect. I said a great university. You see, no university is perfect, but some universities are great. You have a degree from one of the top universities in the world, the best that Africa has to offer. You have acquired magnificent friends and astonishing peers. You have been trained by best scholars, and you have earned the support of an institution that will stand by you throughout your careers. But there is an expectation. You see, great universities stand for truth, and the pursuit of truth demands consistent effort, because truth has to be discovered. It has to be revealed through argument and experiment, tested in the midst of opposing explanations and ideas. Tested in the midst of opposing explanations and ideas, not shutting down opposing explanation and ideas. And this is precisely the function of a great university. In our statement of values at UCT, we have committed ourselves to intellectual honesty, to rigor and in debate, openness to alternative ideas, and respect for other views, other ways of being, beliefs, and opinions. And so with the growing intolerance and polarization in our world today, my hope is that you, the UCT graduate, will serve as an embodiment of our university values as you make a meaningful contribution to our community and our world. Finally, number 3, my dear graduates, let me be frank with you. I know today is great, and it's possible that some of you may be thinking that you've had the best years of your life, especially here at UCT. But actually not, because the best years of your life are still very much ahead of you, and they can be whatever you want them to be. Your work, your life, your weekdays, your weekends can all be filled with as much meaning as you dictate. So as you go off now to start new jobs or new graduate programs, or maybe you already have a career, or maybe you have 1 million followers on Twitter and Instagram and you don't even need my advice. Whatever your next chapter is, define it by being true to your authentic self. Fill it with meaning. Make sure that it's filled with meaning. Define what success means to you. You define what success means to you. If you don't define what success means to you, let me tell you, in this world, someone is going to define it and impose it on you, and you're going to do that. That's just how it works. So define what success means to you and go out there and pursue it ethically and well. After all, you're a UCT graduate. Congratulations.
We've come to the end of the ceremony. The procession will soon leave the hall, and I'm going to invite the graduates to leave with the procession, to join the procession as it leaves the hall. And then I'm going to ask you for the last time today to please rise whilst the procession leaves the hall. I also want to invite you to a function which will be held in the Leslie building, which is at the end of University Avenue. So when you leave the building, you will turn to your right to join us for some refreshments. And then finally, as we leave the hall, I'm going to also ask you to proceed to the end of the steps in order to take pictures. I'm now going to invite the Vice-Chancellor to dissolve the congregation.
Please stand. By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.